evening, good morning, good day, and good night. Welcome to Positive Rate. I'm flying solo today at the moment. I can see Blue is in there. He says, sorry, I can't fly today. Flying down the Palma. Oh, very nice. Very nice. But I do have a team member on chat. It's Shark Kitty. Shark Kitty, how are you doing today?
Hello, hello. I'm doing good. What about you?
Yeah, a little bit of this and that, you know. I think we're all kind of in the same boat. Work is just absolutely ridiculous right now. So it's nice to kick back on a Saturday morning and do a little bit of flying. And we've got PMDG 737, two great airports too as well to look at. So I'll just quickly jump from the drone cam. This is Copenhagen, and I can see Nighthawk is on the tarmac as well. I can see planes today as well. Yay! Nighthawk says, morning everyone, ready to fly. Excellent, excellent. So we're flying up to Oslo. But we've got this this awesome scenery for Copenhagen. Now I've actually flown to this airport, Shark. I've flown to this airport to see a good friend of mine.
Nice.
And it's the biggest, smallest airport I've ever seen. That's the best way I can describe it. When you're in the airport, it doesn't really seem like it's that big, but it's actually got a tremendous amount of gates on it. But the cool thing about Copenhagen, and one thing I really like, is it's got direct train connections right out to the city. So once you're kind of out of the main terminal, and I believe that's the train station there. Yeah, it is. There's a train that'll take you straight out, and I'm pretty sure the train is automated, so there's no drivers per se. It's just a self running transit system. But it's really, really cool. And of course, Copenhagen, if you've never been, is absolutely fantastic place to visit. It's a really, really awesome place all year round, but certainly in the summertime. And it's got a what do you call it? A theme park right in the middle of the city called the Tivoli, which is awesome. It's quite neat. So anyway, we're going to fly out of there today. I'm pretty much started up Nighthawk, so if you want to get everything going, I'm just about ready to push and start the engines. I think it just might be the two of us today, mate, but we'll see if anyone pops in. Anyway, Shark, what's going on in your life? Anything interesting? Anything flight sim wise or otherwise? How you keeping entertained these days?
Not much. I mean, you know, I just play FF14 on my free time at the moment.
Yeah, exactly.
That's about it. Not much interesting going on.
Just saying before the chat, I had Metal Gear Solid Phantom Pain, Metal Gear Solid 5 for 7 years. Never finished the game, and suddenly I just decided about 3 weeks ago I was just going to try and get through it, and I was able to finish it finally, so it was good. But yeah, we're all gamers at heart. What about you, Nighthawk? Do you do anything other than simming? Anyway, so I'll go a quick run through the route. Let me just pull up charts here. Okay, here we go. So our route today takes us out the, I think it's the Vidar 2C departure. This is runway 22 right. So we make a nice little turnaround there, heading up to initial climb of 7,000 feet, and then directly north. Ooh, didn't know it could do that. Directly north, flying over over the whole of Denmark actually, which is quite nice. Skirting up the coast, and we'll be coming in on the I think it's the Lunip arrival. In for runway 1 left, so we kind of hit this main point here, hook around, and then make the approach transition through Insuv, and it'll be an ILS departure right into Oslo. And when I show you the scenery at Oslo, this is something else, folks. Absolutely crazy. So I'm just going to turn that music down just a little bit. But yeah, it's pretty wild. I just checked out the scenery yesterday, and it is stunning. Anyway, we're ready to push, so let's get these things through. Now, I haven't actually been looking at this airplane for a while, so we'll see how we get on. Menu. Yes, FS actions, here we go. Ground services. Okay, so we can remove the wheel chocks. Actually, before we do that, make sure the brakes are set. There we go. A little brakes pulled out there. So back into this. Oh, you missed the last bit, Nighthawk. No, I was just saying, do you enjoy any other kind of games apart from Flight Simulator? That's what I was asking. Push. Don't need that. I'm suddenly forgetting how to do a pushback on this. Oh, pushback. There you go. Probably the option that says pushback. Oh, God help me. God help me. Okay, we'll take the chocks off anyway. Select the tug, and we're looking for, yeah, that's fine. And I think we'll do a straight in. Now, actually, let's go back and have a look at the charts, just to do a bit of planning here. So we are here, and we're going for 2-2 right. So what we're going to do is reverse out. I think we'll probably reverse out nose pointing left, make our way down to Bravo here, and then head straight out. We're looking for Echo 1. It's a displaced runway, so we'll come up and we'll roll up to the start of A5 there, and then we'll get ready for departure. So let's see if we can remember all that as we get out to the bring the sim noises up as well. Oh, I've got an alarm. I don't know why I've got an alarm. Why did I got an alarm? I disconnect ground power somewhere along the way. I must have. Okay, we can fix that. Probably because we took the chocks off. I think that's what's happened there. Okay. Note for future, don't take your chocks out until you've got your EP started. Alright. And we can start that APU now as well. And because we started the APU, there are any collision lights on there. Once that spools up, we can bring on our packs. Starting anyway. Yep, there it goes. We can see it's blowing up. Okay, give that a moment. So anyway, anything interesting happening on the X-Plane side of things, Shark? I haven't been paying much attention.
Me neither, to be honest. Let me check real quick.
There is some interesting things happening on the Flight Simulator side. I had a whole list of notes which has been misplaced somewhere. My wife came up and cleaned up last night and I can't find it. We'll find it in a sec. Nighthawk says, I have DCS, IL2, Star Citizen, City Skylines, and a load of games I haven't installed in a time. Yeah, I know, there's too much to play. Beluga says you're on the battery far too long. No, what it was, Beluga, is I was on ground power and I taken the wheel chocks off, but what that does in the PMDG is it automatically disconnects the ground power, which is interesting. But anyway, so yeah, that's what's happened there. But yes, the batteries don't last long on the PMDG at all. For sure.
Alright, so I got a few news.
Yeah, go ahead.
So we got enhanced flight model for X-Plane 12 is now 172.
Okay.
Rotate MD-80 V1.50 beta available. Aeropact A22LS from Skylab V3 released. And E-Jet family by X-Craft got released. As well
that's
as
what I've been looking at.
Patagonia. Say again?
I said the E-Jet looks interesting. I think I saw a video of that.
Yeah, they've been out there for a while. So I think they're very welcome. And we also have Patagonia scenery for X-Plane 12.
Cool. And you've recently converted over to a Linux system, haven't you? So, but yet you said you haven't installed X-Plane yet.
Yeah, because I just wanted to do other things at the moment, but
Yeah.
you know, I know if I want to have it, I just need to go ahead and install it.
Yeah.
But that's
absolutely.
one of the big pros of X-Plane is that it's cross-platform.
Yeah, exactly.
That being said, MSFS does work on Linux.
Yeah, probably not as well as it could though. I think whereas X-Plane I think was always designed with Linux in mind to some extent. But okay, I'm gonna push back, so give me a sec just so I can focus on this. We did say we're gonna go standard out. We're gonna put the nose to the left, and I'll get it to roll about 120. And we'll see. Start it up. See what happens.
Go ahead. We've been cleared for pushback and start. They want the tail to our right. Copy that. Ready to push. Tail to the right. Parking brakes release, please.
Okay, we'll take the parking brakes off.
Brakes released. Brakes released. Here we go.
Okay. And we'll do engine 2. Ooh, lost my there we go. Bring in the fuel. Starting engine 1. And got packs are coming on there, that's fine.
Pushback complete. Parking brake, please.
Yes sir, parking brake, absolutely.
Brake set.
Taking 2.
Alright, steering pin is disconnected. Watch for the slip release from guidance on your left. Have a good flight.
So far so good. Should have fuel pumps on there. That's interesting. I wonder if the engines would still start with fuel pumps off. Never mind. Right, yaw damper can come on now. So, go. And we've got our altitude set, initial altitude of flight level 380. The landing altitude in Oslo will be around, I think, 657 feet, so 650 anyway. And we probably brought fuel on, so let's do that. Okay, I'm getting an engine feel here, hang on. Start that again. Oh, packs off, yeah, good point. Gotta put the packs on, that's interesting. Thank you, Beluga, you're most helpful, sir. So you should be flying along with us, mate. There we go. 20. Fuel. Okay. Now we can bring the packs on. I think it's safe to do that. Yeah, so just to explain why the packs impacted that, very schoolboy error on my part. Thank you for Beluga for pointing it out. The packs will siphon off too much bleed air. So what you're actually doing, if we just zoom into this, is the APU is obviously generating pressure into the system. But if you have packs, the packs will actually draw pressure away from that, and you won't have enough pressure to start the engines. So why I put packs on, I don't know. Very silly thing, but that's the reason that stopped that. In case you're just new to the whole airliner thing here. And again, just to do a quick refresh, so we are going to taxi out, and Nighthawk, if you want to head out to 22 right, I'm going to do that, and I'm going to head along and find my way to Bravo. We'll get going. And Johnny Mon says, good morning, gents. Good morning, Johnny Mon. How are you doing today, mate? So we can release the brakes. Let's get our landing light on. Oop. What happened there? Darn it. Hit the wrong switch. It's all going right today, guys. Get the APU back on. We'll get everything. I forgot to turn on the engine power. Oy vey.
No, Beluga, you can't start an engine with the packs on. It's not about thing being new. It's just that you don't need the pneumatic system to run both the packs and the starter at the same time during normal operation. So there's no reason to make some overpowered pneumatic system for no reason.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I mean, there's probably a good reason for that too, because probably for safety. Oh, Johnny says, doing well, woke up early today, saw you guys were on, thought I'd give it a join. Yeah, absolutely, mate. Are you able to join us today, John? Look around, see if I can...
I'm not sure, but I would guess that must be coming to wear and tear. Because
wear and tear, yeah,
if you want your pneumatic system to handle both at the same time, then you need a lot more pressure into it. But the more pressure you put into your pneumatic system, then the more stress there's going to be onto it. That's actually why during cruise you typically reduce the power you put into the pneumatic system. If you fly some old planes like PMDG, you actually have to do this manually. And that's even the DC-6, you actually have to do this on the DC-6. And that's all just to make that system last longer. So really it would just be very expensive to have that kind of overpowered pneumatic system, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right. And then you got aircraft like the Dreamliner that don't have any pneumatic system at all.
Oh, really?
Beluga, you got a compliment from Beluga that says a very nice explanation. Thanks, Shark Kitty.
Oh, welcome.
Shark Kitty knows so much stuff, don't you? You're like a walking aviation encyclopedia. That's what I think. Okay, I think we're going to take that first left here. Hopefully Nighthawk's making his way down the 22 right.
I guess I'm Wikipedia.
Flightopedia. Or Simapedia, maybe. That's a good question, Sharky. Do you have any decent air shows around your area?
Maybe I should look that up. Didn't really want to come out during recent years for obvious reasons.
Yeah, fair enough. There is one not too far from us in Scotland. It's a bit limited though because you're not actually at the runway, so all the airplanes take off from Edinburgh Airport, whereas East Fortune Air Museum, which is a cool place to go because it has one of the Concords on display there. And
Nice.
you can actually walk through it, and it's a fascinating airplane to see up close actually.
Do you get in the cockpit?
Yeah, I think there's a glass shield in front of the cockpit, so you can get right up to see it, but you can't actually
Okay.
say sit in the chair. But it makes sense because I can just imagine, about a few months of people being able to do that, they probably would have broken all the switches or even stolen things out of the cockpit. So they probably did it just for just to keep things right on the airplane.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. The more people you let into some of these precious things that need to be preserved, the more damage it's going to be.
Yeah.
It's actually also an issue for
yeah.
more historical places, like I think in Egypt they got problems with that because of the pyramids.
Yeah.
Because it's so touristic, but the tourism damages the pyramids.
Yeah, exactly. Nighthawk says Toronto, Hamilton, and London air shows are close by. Haven't been to a live air show in a long time. I've been to all three of those actually. Nighthawk. Toronto's kind of similar because that's usually at CNE exhibition grounds. So again, you don't actually see the airplanes taking off or landing. They take off from Pearson, I think, and then or possibly Trenton, and then they head up. Hamilton Air Show, obviously, know very well because that's my hometown, and I've seen all sorts of great displays there actually over the years. Although it was cancelled for a long time because after 9/11, I don't know if this happened in France, Shark. The insurance for air shows went up tremendously that a lot of air shows couldn't survive. So they just shut down, and it's only in recent years that Hamilton Air Show has been able to come back. London Air Show, this is London, Ontario. I presume that's the one you're talking about, Nighthawk, is well known for military displays, and you do get a lot of American aircraft in there, which is really cool. And that's the first time I'd ever seen, probably the last time, the F-117 stealth fighter. And also saw a B-52 up front. You got to walk through a C-5. It was really something, really cool. Okay, we're coming up to Echo 1 here. This should take us on to runway 22 right for our displaced entry. There's Nighthawk already stood up. Perfect. Absolutely amazing. Beluga says, I've only been to the Red Arrows when they performed in Lossiemouth. Oh, right, Lossiemouth, yeah. That'd be a great place to see an air show, actually. I saw the Red Arrows at East Fortune and also at Lucas when it was still operating as an airfield. Sadly, that's not happening anymore. Okay, so let's do our runway prep here. We're going to bring on our landing lights. Runway turn off. Take our position to stroke steady. Any collisions already on. We don't need local on or anything like that. That's good. Good all to go. No lights of any concern up there that we can see, so that is a good sign. Nighthawk says the positive rate delivery for the A339 is really, really good. Yeah, you know what? I haven't actually loaded it yet because I've been that busy at work, but we're going to do quite soon. We're planning to do a long haul flight, so maybe like a 6-hour flight. We're still kind of working out the specifics of that, but yeah, and I'm hoping at that point to get someone on, or maybe a couple interviews, people to talk to while we're en route. So yeah, watch for that. But yeah, we're definitely going to make use of it, and it's such a beautiful paint job. I've seen a picture of it, and you know, huge thank you to Dark Fury for such a wonderful paint job under the Paintgenics. Right, auto throttle is going to go on here, so our initial departure speed is around, our V2 is 135, although that will go off once we kick in everything. Flight director is on, initial altitude is set. Flaps should be set at 5 degrees, which they are. Anything else that you can think of, folks? Don't think so. We should be good to go. So, I'll tell you what, Nighthawk, do you want to roll first or second? I'll give you the choice. Okay, he's not responding. So I'll go first, Nighthawk, and actually that means I'll probably get a good drone shot of you landing in Oslo. Second, right, okay. Awesome, mate. Off we go. We could roll up to the end, but I think we'll just take off. So, yeah, about 50% power. Engine stable.
V1 rotate.
Rotating. Wind.
Positive rate of climb.
Gear up. Watching the trim there. And goodbye, Copenhagen. Thank you for your hospitality. Bringing our autopilot LNAV and VNAV on. Here's your flaps. And we're just about to start a procedure turn on the SID. There we go. Flaps one. Look at that coastline. I tell you, it's a great place in the summer. You ever been to Copenhagen, Shark Kitty?
Nope, never.
It's a beautiful city.
Okay.
Very cosmopolitan too. You can get a lot of different world food there. Altitude is set, believe it. Yeah. Its initial climb out to, oh, mind you, it should be 7,000. I don't know why that's changed. Oh, probably when the power went out. Lap 0.
Power mid.
Sorry, what'd you say?
I said your altitude.
No, the VNAV should just stop. Yeah, there it goes. I changed it before we were within 1,000, so it was quick enough for the VNAV to kind of catch it.
Okay.
There we go. So we'll take our runway turn off and come off as our. Come on. Taxi lights. I'll keep the landing lights on until 10,000 feet. And we'll just do some quick checks. PAX is on, so that's quite critical for the pressurization. I set the altitude the last flight, forgot to turn the PAX back on, so I still got a cabin pressure warning at about 10,000 feet. And it's our second procedure turn. And we actually get a really good view of Copenhagen. Look at that. Okay, we are now on course, so we can take it up to our assigned altitude of flight level 380. Now, I don't know if this is the correct way, but there is, the VNAV's obviously settled us into 7,000 because that was our initial set. One way you can kick it back into life to take you up to the next level is just to click level change, and then VNAV again, and that should initiate the VNAV to climb to your next set altitude. Might not be the right way to do it, but that's how I do it.
You just gotta rearm the altitude, that's all.
Which altitude one? Is there an arm button?
The altitude knob, you can push it or pull it, and then I don't remember which one did. I think you need to push it.
Yeah, it doesn't do that on PMDG, unfortunately. No option to do that.
Oh, it's a Boeing.
Oh, it's a Boeing, yeah. You gotta get the right airplane type at the very least.
So hey, sorry, I'm tired.
You're biased. That's what it is. You're biased. No, yes, on the Airbus, of course, you would do that, yeah. I'm starting to miss the Airbus. There was a big update that came out for, that was the big news. The fly-by-wire 320 has had a big update. They now got the VNAV set, which is really awesome, and they've completely overhauled the lighting system, which is something, and also the interior cockpit lighting as well, which looks amazing. I just saw a quick video of it last night. So it looks like all the hard work that they're doing on the Airbus 380, they're starting to port some of that improvement over to the 320neo, which is just awesome. So a big shout out to Fly-by-Wire team. Thank you so much. Love everything you do, guys. Those landing lights off. And I think we can probably release the passengers. And up we go. Here we see Nighthawk behind us. There he is. I always considered Denmark to be quite north, so it's actually remarkable that we're flying an hour and a half further north. We get a good look over the beautiful terrain of Denmark, though, which is very, don't you think, Shark? It's kind of islandy, isn't it? It's all bits and strips of land that are kind of interconnected together. Oh, there we go. So what's on the roster for the weekend, Shark Kitty? You just taking it easy, kicking back, or are you doing anything fun?
Yeah, not much. I think I'm gonna keep playing FF, and there's my big sister around as well, so might pass some time with her.
How old's your sister?
Yeah, my big sister.
Oh, your big sister, right? Okay. Sorry, that's probably in a not a good question to ask. So what do you on the street said? What are you doing for? This was last Friday. It was my wife's birthday. I said, "All right, how old is she?" I'm like, "I'm not answering that question." you want to know? You go ask her yourself. Hopefully, is Johnny Mon? Are you still flying with us, mate? I'm just checking back to see. Oh, yeah, there he is. There's Johnny. Excellent. Well, hopefully, I'll get a good shot of you guys landing us after I come in. Just going to check our performance here. Okay, it's giving us 0.746. I'm going to change that to 78 so we get there a little bit quicker. I leave the climb performance alone for the time being. Dual FM, yeah. Take out the range. They're really not at cruise altitude very long, probably only for about 40 miles or so. As is the case many times when you have a flight less than an hour and a half, 2 hours. Climbing through to 2500. No cabin pressure alarms today. Look at that water. Wow. It's really clear today, actually. I think we're supposed to be cloudy in Scotland. What's the weather like where you are, Shark Kitty?
Sorry, say again?
What's the weather like where you are today?
Cloudy, broken.
Is it cloudy?
No, sorry, overcast.
Yeah, same
But
with us. Is it
not
warm?
good.
Is it warm though?
It's getting warmer at the moment, but considering the weather, I don't think so. Yeah, it's 13 C.
13? Okay. Well, that's unusual, so we're going to be warmer than you guys today.
I guess.
Well, it's temperature's going up to 20 degrees for us today.
Oh, okay.
So, which is...
We're starting to get like some 20, 25.
Yeah.
But that's when the weather's good.
Yeah.
It's been like rainy this week, so temperature went down.
Yeah, we've had a lot of rain actually the last couple of weeks. Nighthawk, you're over in Canada. What's oh, here he is. Hazy here in Ontario with the smoke from the Alberta forest fires. Whoa, really? Wow. That's incredible. That's a long way for that smoke to travel. I mean, what are we talking about? 2,000, 3,000 miles or so? Lucas says, I saw you have an approach into function planned. I will try and join that stream. Yeah, absolutely. Look for it. Just a heads up, guys. So I'll just give you a bit of insight into my own life. My day job is becoming really super intense, and it's quite often requiring me to work late into the night. So unfortunately, we can't do weeknight streams anymore. So for the time being, all of the streams will be broadcasting at 11 o'clock London time on a Saturday, and we'll do our best to try and keep that schedule constant as possible, but that will be at the standard time now. for the foreseeable future. Unfortunately, it's just the way it's got to be. So hopefully you guys can join us. Nighthawk says the Alberta fires are really bad. Lots of military. Yeah, I saw some news on it, and they look very widespread as well, which is not great. And it's a hard thing to control because they're just so vast, that those forests. But unfortunately, it's just getting worse and worse every year. But what's the temperature like in Ontario right now, Nighthawk? Is it actually starting to switch over to summer? Passing 34,000? Just about. Good climb performance on the Boeing 737, that's for sure. It really gets up in a hurry. Especially at the upper altitudes. I think that's, you know, even above approaching 35,000, it's still pushing 1,800 feet per minute. It's really impressive. Apart from that, let's just sit back and enjoy the ride, guys. Nighthawk says, warm weather today up to 20 degrees. Yeah, it's exactly the same as here today. And we've got a rugby tournament, which I'm going to go to after the stream. It's cool. So our village where I stay has a sevens tournament every year, and today is the day of the sevens tournament. I've been asked to go along and take photographs of the games and everybody attending the event, and something I really like doing. And I might, you know, stop off for a couple of pints here and there as well. Beluga says the climb performance isn't as good on the 800. I was getting about 900 feet. No, I wouldn't expect it, Beluga, because I think it's just weight. Because you're basically using the same engines to drive a much larger aircraft. The 736 is very powerful. Yeah, I think it's just a power to weight ratio thing. I think it's an interesting little thing that comes up too when you're loading it. It says the 737-6 and the 7 are actually shorter in fuselage length than the width of the span of the wings, which is kind of cool. Well, there's our altitude horn, so coming up to 3,800. And as I've instructed in the cruise performance, it should now accelerate to Mach 78 once we get 38. Nighthawk says the B736 is a pocket rocket. Well, don't know if I can fit it in my pocket, but yeah. There's a term I have not heard in a long time. Pocket rocket. There's other terms that references, but I'm not going to get into it. Johnny One says, nothing wrong with a couple of pints. I'm heading to a casino this morning. Oh, might have a pint or two myself. What casino is that for you, Johnny One? Whereabouts is that?
Drinking right from the morning? That's going to be an interesting day.
Well, he said he's going to the casino this morning. Might have a pint or two. I didn't necessarily connect it to say that he was going to have a drink in the morning. But you never know.
What's it going to be at 10 p.m.?
Rovers Casino here in Chicago. Is that where you are, John? Oh, well, it's well early for you.
I didn't expect to see folks from the US here.
No, that's great. I didn't realize you're in Chicago, Johnny. It's a bucket list city I've always wanted to see.
What time is it in Chicago? Is it like 5 a.m. or something?
I'm pretty sure Chicago's on... You guys on Central, Johnny? I don't think you're Eastern, are you? So Central is 6 hours behind us. He says, well, Yeah, that's what I was
I
thinking.
typically work nights, so my drinking
Central.
happens in the morning.
Yeah, they're
Oh,
on
makes sense.
they're on Central Time Zone, so that's coming up at 6 o'clock in the morning. Oh, your drinking happens in the morning. I'll tell you an interesting thing about that, Johnny. So there's in Edinburgh, a part of Edinburgh, which is actually considered its own city in a way, but is the city of Leith. And Leith, much lesser now than the old days, but it used to be very known for all the dock works. So what is really humorous about that, I used to work in Leith, so I drive in on Monday morning about 8 o'clock and see all these old guys walking around the streets absolutely hammered out of their skull because they were walking out of the bar. And I was like, what the hell? So finally I asked the guy, so why do you always see these old guys in the bars, and why are the bars even open at that time? And it was explained to me that because a lot of those guys, they're all retired dock workers, and they just used to work night shift constantly throughout their entire life, and so they're used to heading to the bar about 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, and they still do it today. And the bars are actually open 24 hours a day for that reason. I think they shut down at 9 o'clock and reopen at 12 or something like that. But apart from that, they're just open solid. You don't drink much as it is, Jai. No, that's fair enough. Nighthawk says, I'm at GS483. What is yours? I may have to slow down. So ground speed 483. 447. No, 448. 448. Yeah, so you're probably gaining on me. I could probably pick it up a bit. I can change the. Well, I change cruise performance to 0.8. What airplane are you flying, Johnny? Or Nighthawk? Johnny says, see, here in Chicago, there's only a few bars open that early. Yeah. And probably most of the bars you wouldn't want to go to. Imagine that there's some rough and ready bars at middle of the night. Oh, you're flying the Headwind. Okay. Oh, I should have. I wish I had installed that livery now. At least I'll see you as a 330. Oh, that's right. That's because I'm seeing you as a Condor, wasn't I? Pants. Right. I'll definitely make sure I get that livery installed then. Johnny says that is absolutely correct. Yeah, I've heard some stories about Chicago, Johnny. One in particular, my cousin got chased out of. He strayed off the beaten path. He'd gone to a Cubs game and decided to try and walk back to the hotel. And he ended up at some bar. Maybe he had a drink, and I think he ended up running for his life until thankfully a police cruiser pulled alongside him and said, "What the hell? Where the hell are you? Why are you here?" And he goes, "Oh, I'm visiting." He says, and the cops basically said, "Just get in the car. You can't stay around here." So the cops are telling you that. So God knows where he was, but thought that was quite a funny story though. Top of descent, getting closer. Very close, actually. Less than 20 miles away. So in terms of our platform altitude, take a look at that. Well, I've been doing showcase the whole time. That's not good. In terms of our platform altitudes, we are taking big cat approach to runway 1 left, which is 3,500 feet down to there. Adjust that, and at the appropriate time, VNAV will fly us down to that altitude through the relative constraints along the way. I think this actually speeds up if you hold it down. Yeah, it does. Johnny says, yeah, if the cops are telling them to get out, you must not be in a great area. Yeah. I actually find the American police are really good that way with tourists. If they see someone kind of out of place, they'll stop to find out why you're there, and as soon as they understand that you're visiting, they'll immediately give you advice and tell you what to do. I've always had a relatively helpful experience with police in the States. This is where there are a few areas that are not so good, but generally Chicago is great to see. No, absolutely. I'd love to go to Chicago because I'm a huge jazz fan. And I consider Chicago the home of jazz. A lot of people will say that that's New Orleans or other places, but I think Chicago for me is the home of jazz, and also the name of one of my favorite all-time bands from the 70s and 80s. Yeah, no, I've never been, John. I'd like to go. I was my plan was, because I live in Scotland now, but my plan was at some point, if I fly to Canada to see family, I might just take a hop flight over to Chicago from Toronto. There's tons of flights, tons of options that way. Well, I can hear the engine spooling down, so that's VNAV picking up the top of the descent and taking us down. Yeah. I'll just do a quick check on our legs here. So, yeah, it looks like it's just graduated. So there is a restriction at DevCoo. We must be at 12,000 feet. Kind of hovers around 11,000, and then drop down to INSA 5,000 restriction there. Platform altitude at Zirkla, 3,500, and that should take us on through the ILS. Now, while we're doing that, the approach is 1110.3, 012. So we'll set that up here. And we want 110.3. Go. That is programmed into the nav for our ILS approach. Johnny says, well, Mr. Willie, if you ever make it here, you let me know and I can be a quick guide, tell you where to stay, areas that I would absolutely love that, Johnny. Thank you so much for the offer. I'll definitely bear you in mind if I make it out to your area. I'd like to go to a Cubs game. I don't know if you're a baseball fan or if you're a Cubs fan, but it's just an old heritage stadium. I'd love to check it out. Nighthawk says you're above me now. Okay, let's see if we can find you. Oh, there you are. Actually, we're pretty close together. It's like an approach lineup. That's really cool. That's pretty neat. There's somebody in a TBM out there as well. Okay, so yeah, we're looking good. Johnny says, I'm a die-hard Cubs fan. Excellent. My first team, of course, is the Blue Jays. But I'm a huge fan of the Cubs, and I'm also a big fan of the Mets. Basically, all the underdog teams that don't make as much money as everyone else. Pittsburgh, I like watching Pittsburgh as well. That's another team I'd like to see live, I think. Pirates. Johnny says, although due to my hours, I've not been to a game in a few hours. Yeah, it'd be tricky. Well, I suppose you could, if you're working nights, you maybe try and grab a snoozer for a few hours. You could probably make a leaving game. Because what time the leaving games usually start? About, 1 o'clock in the afternoon or something like that? There's Aaron. Hey, Aaron, how you doing? He says, go the Indians. Yeah. Indians are good. As long as... Listen, I mean, you can name any team as long as it's not Boston Red Sox, New York Yankees, or Atlanta Braves. As long as you're not mentioning any of those guys, I'm happy to support you. And I don't like Kansas City either, because every time Kansas City comes to Toronto, they start fights. People don't realize it's something prominent in baseball. Oh, night hockey just pulled ahead of me there. Aaron says I was lurking, but I couldn't take it when he started talking about the Blue Jays. Well, and you know what, Aaron, very well, that it's been a long time for the Blue Jays. I think 1993 was our last title. I think 1993 was our last pennant. So yeah, I mean we've had years where we thought, yeah, they're gonna go all the way, and then they just fizzle out in the playoffs, and then sometimes they don't make the playoffs at all. But you still watch them, don't you? There's only one team that wins the last game of the season, as they say in Moneyball. So how are the Blue Jays viewed in the States? Are they generally hated or thought? Well, I mean, I know Blue Jays have always had a really good family relationship with the Philadelphia Phillies. And I think, Phillies fans still come to Toronto, and Toronto fans still go to Philly, actually, quite a lot. No one likes to see a Canadian cry. Well, but then the Blue Jays is the flip side of hockey, right? So where all your great American teams are made up of great Canadian players, all of our one Canadian team is made up of great American players, as well as Dominican Republic, out with, etc. You don't think many Americans pay much mind to the Blue Jays, yeah, unless they're winning. I mean, you couldn't ignore them in 92 and 93. So we'll always have that. They're not hated, more like the redheaded stepchild. Very eloquently put. Oh, I love it. I love it, Aaron. Said most of the players are from the Dominican and Japan. Yeah, there's a lot of Japanese players coming up in Major League now. Yes, the Blue Jays do win games. I'll tell you what, the one game that they did win this year, they were the first team to snap Tampa Bay's winning streak. They were on to do a record, and then of all teams, the Blue Jays actually beat them. So I thought that was quite amusing. Just can't stand Tampa. Right, okay, let's do some checking here. So, we can start to see the approach evolve on the chart there, so just refresh on what that means. So the Luna does take us down, we're passing 24,000 as we get past Luna. DevCo, that was the first hard restriction, so you had to be above 12,000, not at 112,000, but you do need to be at 11,000 at Golf Mike 416. That's then when we start our hook around to Golf Mike 414 and cut into ints of above 5,000, but then at that point we should be on track for our ints of our transition point. We then drop 4,000 feet to platform the 3,500, intercept the ILS into runway 1, I think it was 1 left. Yeah, 1 left, yeah. So far everything's going tickety-boo, so hopefully it stays that way. Show us on the departure of that, so. So we got Johnny we got Nighthawk in front of us. You still behind us, Johnny? Yeah, yeah. Okay. Can't see what airplane you're flying yet. Definitely getting over the rustic terrain now. Look at that. Ooh, just screams cold out there, doesn't it? Just looks cold. Although I think they get fairly nice summers, but I wouldn't imagine it's particularly warm right now. Sorry, Shark Kitty been active in the chat today. Are you still with us?
Yeah, still here.
Oh, I'll tell you, you know what I went to see last week, Shark Kitty, with the family?
Oh.
Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Well, okay, is it good?
Really enjoyed it. I really
Nice.
enjoyed it, yeah. It kind of, it started out a bit slow, if I'm being honest. It seemed, there was something kind of not quite energized about it when it started. But it was a lot of kind of story build-up and things like that. And then, but as it went towards the end, it just got absolutely awesome. It definitely ended on, quite literally, on a bang. And it was an excellent wrap up to the series. I really enjoyed it. So I wouldn't say it was my favorite one of the three. I think my favorite's probably still the first one. But it was a really, really good film. Some awesome, funny moments in it. And I mean, actually, a point near the end where I started tearing up. But that's just because I'm sad. But yeah, it was really good. Highly recommend it. And Rocket, the one thing I will say is that the story really focuses on Rocket this time around, which was kind of interesting.
Okay.
I won't give any more away because I don't want to ruin it for anyone, but it's very, very much about Rocket and how he became how he is, and you know, him kind of just coming to reconcile that in his life. And it's interesting because, you know, Rocket's a bit of a pain in the ass, but the movie does very well to explain why that's the case. I won't say more than that, but yeah, definitely recommend it. So if you guys haven't seen it, Guardians of the Galaxy 3, really, really fun. Great family film as well. Okay. It says we're above profile right now. That's interesting. Don't see any complaints from the FMC as yet, though, so I'm assuming it's going to try and get down to... Johnny Mudd says, I'll have to go see it. I enjoyed the first and second. Yeah, Johnny, if you like the first and the second movie, you'll love the third one. Absolutely right. Like I said, it starts out a little bit slow, but it picks up, and by the time you get to the end, it feels fantastic. The one thing I will say, because it's a long film, I think it's 2 hours and 20 minutes, but it didn't feel like it was that long, so that's usually a good sign. That's usually a very good sign. Can be 280 at, yeah, okay. Can you do 280? Set performances out here. Got the speed a bit, and I should be able to get back on profile. It tends to set some funny. It must be the cost index that's playing into it, but it tends to set some really slow descent figures in the PMDG if you don't actually go in and alter them. There we go. Right back on profile, that's what I like to see. Seen any other good movies recently, Shark Kitty?
Not really.
No. My daughter has been making her way through all of the Studio Ghibli films over the last
That's good.
yeah, over the last month or so. It's gotten to the point now that Lisa and I are Miss Canuck and I are starting to get quite interested in it. Yeah, so we're watching along with them, and they're very entertaining movies. I mean, some of them go back to early 80s. I think we watched one the other day. It was like 1983. But they're pretty timeless and pretty entertaining.
Yeah, I grew up with those.
Well, in theory, so did I, but they were just never on my radar. But I knew you'd like that because you're a huge fan of Japan animation.
Yeah.
What movies did you say? Studio Ghibli, Johnny. Maybe Sharkit, if you can find a reference or something, and post a link in the chat. But they're, Johnny, if you saw, you'd probably recognize them if you saw them. They're old, traditional anime films. All kind of very family-friendly films. And they're all sorts of different stories. Quite a few of them have won Oscars as well. But yeah, some from the 80s, yeah. Some from the 80s, some from the 90s, right up to 2000s, I think. So Studio Ghibli's they've been going for about, what, 30, 40 years? Sure.
I don't know, something like that.
Yeah. I'm starting to see snow. Yeah, it's worth a look. I mean, it's obviously it's not for everybody. And my wife and I wouldn't say we have gone out of our way to watch them. We've only been watching them because my daughter likes them. So she's kind of gotten us into it. But yeah, you know, we'll check a Studio Ghibli film on if we're having lunch or whatever, just to pass the time. It's quite good. Okay, getting ready for our first procedure turn. We should be nearing 11,000 according to this. We are on profile, so that's perfect. I can see the VNAV slowed our descent to keep us on that profile. We do have a restriction coming up, 220, so the airplane should start slowing us down. Once we pass Gulf Mike 416. Bring those landing lights on. And seatbelts, please. Johnny says, yeah, I sometimes have quite a bit of downtime at work. Always have my iPad with me and always looking for new content to watch, be it movies or YouTube streams. Well, the Studio Ghibli, if you have Netflix, it's on there. And you can actually search on it, and that'll give you everything. I think there's probably about 12, 15 movies or so. Quite relaxing. I find them very relaxing. You have it. Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, except maybe there was one that was like really depressing. I'm gonna check the English title because not sure what it is.
I think I might know the one you're on about.
One about World War II.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, that was a bit of a downer.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
That's kind of the point, like Miyazaki said, hey, that's my last one. But the thing is, he kept saying that.
Yeah.
But yeah, when it came out, I actually watched it in the theater, and I didn't expect this. He always did such wholesome kind of movies, and that one it killed me. But I didn't hate it. Like a lot of people hated it, but I actually found it to be a really good movie. It's just that it's really depressing.
Yeah. No. Not all of them are like that, obviously. I think most of them are
Yeah.
quite
Yeah, that's
whimsical.
just
whimsical.
one.
Yeah. You see Nighthawk. Nighthawk must be coming up to approach. Good luck in your landing, Nighthawk.
To put it into perspective, the first one I've seen from Miyazaki was Totoro.
Yeah, I've seen that one. That was good. I enjoyed that one actually.
Yeah, that's really one that marked me as a kid, and we also made my little sisters watch it. They all love it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's.
I mean, there is a gap between the two.
Right. Why is this not set to engine primary? Okay, so we're looking for that ILS shortly. Oh, sorry, we got to make our transition into INSUB first, that's right. Look at that. One thing that we get a lot of in abundance up here is water. Beautiful place for to go to cottages and lakes and things like that in the summertime, I've heard. Okay, beginning our next descent. This will take us down to INSUB, which is our transition entry into the runway approach at 5,000 feet. And Jayhawk says, "Good afternoon, just popped in to say hi. Hope all's well going. No sound, so no need to reply, Willie. I'll just wave." Since he can't hear me. Probably getting dragged out by his wife shopping again. He seems to be a slave to the missus on the Saturday morning. Really, I see some interesting. That looks like a canal almost, or at least a river. Part of the world we don't see enough. I can see Nighthawk up in front of us. We see the beginning on Nighthawk a bit, actually. We need some brake flaps here. Let's see. Now, interesting thing I never didn't realize about the PMDG. The PMDG would rather keep you on profile than slow you down to your assigned speed, which is really interesting, actually. Whereas I think the Airbus does the opposite. Your average YouTuber says, "Hi, how you doing, mate? How you doing? Glad to have you along. You're just in time for the landing. Just in time." Now our approach speed will be 132, which is 5 above the app reference. And of course, we want to make sure my throttle position is set to the current all throttle set. We're starting to gain a bit on Nighthawk, so I think what I might do is take us down to 180. drop a flaps 1. Landing lights are on. Learning to fly is in. He says hi. Hello, learning to fly. How you doing, mate? Are you actually learning to fly? If so, that's very cool. Okay, we should now see the ILS is starting to creep in there, so that's good. It's taking us down to 4,000. So as long as we're getting below that ILS. We'll arm the approach as well. Well, yeah. Hold your horses, we'll arm the approach in a minute. Okay. Bring flaps 2. Oz Flight Submarine says, hey Will, how's it going? Shane, how you doing, mate? Well, glad to see you. I'm doing well. I'm gonna finish this. Hopefully a perfect landing here, Shane, and then I'm heading out to our local village rugby sevens tournament to take some photos and drink a couple pints of beer. I'm looking forward to that. Okay, get close now, so arm the approach. You can see that the localizer is now come in, so we'll wait and see that fly in. Drop the flaps 5. VNAV has handed back speed control to us. And we've got signal channel intercept on the ILS. Oz Flight Simmer says, sounds like a good afternoon. Yeah, absolutely. And the best part, Shane, it's going up to 20 degrees today, 20 degrees centigrade. And flaps 15. Drop our speed to 160. And we're going to overtake Nighthawk, unfortunately. There's a nice group shot. There we go. Look at that. Excellent. Aaron Buttercup. Okay, there we go. Alright. We are just passing 9 miles.
2,500.
Down to 6 miles, we'll drop the speed again and get out the rest of our flaps. And drop our gear, which almost didn't happen last week, sure, or the week before. I was landing in Tivat, and I forgot to drop the gear. I did it luckily. I did it right before landing, but it was right last minute. I was like, I've got no flaps, no gear. I still managed to pull it off. Yeah, but I was watching it back on the stream. I was like, you moron.
Wait, how did you manage to do it without the flaps?
I was talking too much and just forgot. You're down?
You must have had a lot of speed.
Part of it is because obviously I'm still kind of getting used to the PMDG again, so. But
yeah, I guess. I just don't know how you brought it down without going too fast.
Because I'm just so good.
Right.
Oh, good morning, Princess. Oh, I see there's a bit of banter going on here between Shane and Aaron. Nice landing sub. Okay, I'll do my best learning to fly. Flaps 30 and final approach. Speed of 132. Here we go, folks.
Don't jinx it, Aaron.
Control.
Sink rate. Terrain. Sink rate.
Oh,
Glide
really
slope.
dropped me there for a second.
Glide
Whoop,
slope.
whoop. Terrain.
Glide slope.
Look at that.
Glide slope. Glide slope.
In the crosswind. Oh! Those aren't working, right? Wonder why. He's been
100.
messing with the memes.
$50, $40, $30, $20, $10.
First thrust.
Nice.
It says, well done, Willie, for a Blue Jays fan. Okay. Alright, so we'll halt there for a sec and see if we can catch Johnny coming in. It's Nighthawk. Oh, we just missed him. Oh, we're all down pretty close together. Okay, where are we gonna go? Right, so that can all come off, that can all come off. Start the APU. Now, get my map out here. Next turn off. And for Yankee. Shane says, nice one, Willie. Way better than anything I've seen here in V-Land. Learning to Fly says, oh, nice, by the way, you just earned a sub. Oh, thank you very much, and Aaron says, did Oz Flight Simmer say something? Maybe I should unblock him. See some nice gates up there, so I think we'll head up there, and we'll check out this airport. This relatively new scenery from available from Orbx. Pops up. There's Yankee. There we go. That looks like a nice gate. That one. You guys can line up beside me. 76. Good year for rock. I do see an electronic sign here, but I don't know if it does anything. Oh, look at this. First for me in Flight Simulator.
What happened?
Working a taxiway guidance sign.
Oh
Or
yeah, I
not
see.
taxiway landing light. That's awesome. Fantastic.
Taxiway landing light. That's what you said.
Not a landing light, like a gate, a parking gate guidance sign. So where it's actually telling you, I don't know, I'll make it up. Those things now. Right, turn off those engines.
Careful, guys. Police coming after your taxiways.
That is so cool. There's Nighthawk coming in. Oh, we all pretty much got here almost at exactly the same time. Brilliant. Nighthawk maneuvering that massive 330. Safe gate. Is that what it's called, Bubba? Hi, Bubba. How you doing, by the way? WSDG from Aerosoft is the guidance deck. All right, cool. Well, it's awesome. I love it. First time I've seen it working properly in Microsoft Flight Simulator without some sort of add-on. Look at this. Synchronized parking. Synchronized parking. I think Nighthawk might have struck a wing there. Okay, engines off, guys. Right, so we'll take a quick tour while the guys are parking up here. Anyway, this is, I gotta get the... See if I can find it, actually. ENGM. This is Oslo Gardermoen. Who makes this now? This is... I think it might just be Orbx themselves. Hey-ho. Anyway, but check this out. I mean, first of all, you can see the detail there, which is absolutely stunning. A lot of detail around the apron, taxiways, etc. And if that was not enough, check this out. Look at this. A lot of meticulous detail in the airport terminals. And it goes forever in this airport. I mean, look at this, guys. Look at it. Some lot of hard work and love and passion went into this. Absolutely amazing. And it just keeps going on. I mean, it's funny because when you in flight simulation, it's good to see the airport looking great from the outside, but whoever has, obviously developers behind this scenery have spent a heck of amount of time modeling the inside as well, and it's definitely a passion it takes to do that. You come around, I'll check out the control tower. The control tower is very funky looking. Look at that. It's very, very unique.
Ah, we had an ad for Samsung. They didn't pay us for that.
And even in the tower, it looks pretty cool. Look at this. Very cool. So yeah, you could just park up here, and there we go. We've got a perfect view of the 3 planes down in the car park. I think that's a great place to leave it, actually. Fantastic.
Sega has 6 screens. I want that much.
Anyways, there's links in the show description. Huge shout out to our great friends at Orbx for providing us with the scenery so we could show it off to you guys. But yeah, absolutely wonderful. And look at all the mountains in the distance as well. Let me just do a quick 360 here. Look at this. Hey, that guy owes me money. Right, anyway. Fantastic. Anyway, so Shark Kitty, thank you for joining me on Vox today. It's been a great, nice to talk to you. Johnny, sorry, go ahead, Shark.
I said you're welcome.
And hopefully we'll. I can't. Where are we flying to next week? I'll have to check that. Next week we are back in the props. Yeah, we're going to be back in the 310 next week. And again, all show streams will now be, until further notice, will be Saturdays at 10:00 Zulu. That will be our standard broadcast time. My work is just becoming far too busy. So we'll keep doing it. But hopefully you guys be able to join us then. And Oz says, thanks for a great stream, Willie. Have a great time at the rugby match. Catch you. Shane, all the best to you, mate. Lots of love for you and the family, and have a great day yourself. And Johnny says, great stream, Willie, always a pleasure. Johnny, absolutely fantastic that you could join us today. It was really cool. And just to see you, Nighthawk, coming in that, formation parking. Formation parking. But no, it was great fun, Johnny. Thanks for joining me today. And great conversation as well. A little bit of banter about baseball as well. That was awesome. Unexpected. And Nighthawk says that was a great flight. Thanks, Nighthawk. Thank you, mate. Thanks for joining us on today. So yeah, we'll see you next week. Grab your favorite GA plane. I'll be flying the Cessna 310. Don't forget, both sceneries that we flew with today are available from Orbx. If you go into the show description, you'll see links through to the Orbx shop, and go check them out. Definitely well worth it. And I think this Oslo scenery speaks for itself. Absolutely. Johnny says, take care, gents. Yep, take care, Johnny. Synchronized aircraft parking is a new Olympic sport, says Bubba. It could well be. It started here. Just remember, it started here. You saw it here first. And we'll bring that music down. Sharky, you have a fantastic weekend as well, and we'll speak to you next time.
You too, have a good day.
You too. That's it from all of us at Positive Rate, but thank you for joining us today, guys, and we'll see you next time right here I'm positive, right. Have a great weekend. All the best.